Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning in. If you are just joining, my name is Tofumi and this is my channel where I create content that relates to fashion, tutorials, how-to and sewing tips. If you're just joining this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'm sure you find more exciting videos in my gallery. Today, as you have seen, I'm going to be sewing a simple straight skirt with side ruffles, and I'm going to be using this two-tone fabric. I'm using this fabric for the plain parts, and I'm using this pattern fabric for the ruffles. Can you guys see how beautiful the prints look? Now, straight to the point, the measurements we are going to be needing are: we're going to be needing the length of the skirts, we're going to be needing the waist measurements, the hip measurements. Now let's get right into it. So my fabric is now folded using the widest circumference of the lower body, that is the hip. So the hip measurement is 41 inches, the waist is 30 inches. 41 divided by 4 is 10.5, plus 2 inches sewing allowance is going to give me 12.5, and that is exact 12.25 rather, and that's exactly what I have here. Now the length of this skirt is 25 inches, and I'm going to be adding 1 inch sewing allowance for joining, half inch for joining at the lower part, and then half inch for turning at the upper part. However, remember that this skirt has ruffles at the lower part, so I'm going to be removing 8 inches for the ruffles at the lower part. And what I'm going to have left is going to be 18 inches. So we have 18 inches here. I'm going to mark it all the way. The waist to hip measurement is 8 inches plus half inch that I added at the upper part for joining, for turning at the upper part. I'm going to make it 8.5 inches. So we have 8.5 inches here. Now let's take in our horizontal measurements. The waist, like I said, is 30 inches divided by 4 is 7.5. 7.5 plus 3 inches, that is 2 inches sewing allowance plus 1 extra inch for that allowance, that is 10.5 inches. I'm going to measure my 10.5 inches like this. Then on the waist measurement, I'm going to just take in my 12.25 inches on the waist measurement. I'm going to take the 12.5 inches all the way down because you don't want the skirt to be too tight and it's just below the hip. So we join it together and then we're going to cut it out. So this is what I have after trimming it out. Now what I'm going to do next is to notch the zip allowance here and open it up. Can you guys see? Notch the zip allowance here. And I'm going to open it. Yeah, so this is the back facing the back, that is, this is the front of the skirt and this is the back of the skirt, just like it's going to look after I finish sewing it. Now what I want to do next is to take the curve from this point down to this point. I want the curve to start from the lower, from the dart point at the lower part. So what I'm going to do right now is to measure from the middle point, measure 4 inches from the middle point to form my dart measurement, and this is what I have here. So now I'm just going to take a freehand curve from this place all the way down like this, and then intersects here, and this is what I have. It's just a freehand curve. Can you guys see? Just a freehand curve from the left hand side to the point of the dart and then straight down here, and I'm going to cut it out. So this is what I have. This is what I have. Now I'm going to take note of where I want the flare to stop at the side. I'll show you why that is important as I'm sewing. So I want the slit of the side to be just like few inches lower than the hip. Remember that the hip measurement is 8 inches plus the half inch that we took in for turning at the upper part, and then 12 inches and then 3 inches extra. So that is how we have 12, and I'm just going to mark this 12 here. That is going to signify where my slit is going to begin from. So we'll move on to cut the ruffles. Now to get the measurements for the ruffles, what you are going to do is just to measure this whole place from front to the back, and since it's already folded like this, you just measure like this all the way, Just take it like this, careful. So what I have here is 35 inches. I'm going to do 35 inches times 2. That is going to give me 70 inches. Now, to get, if you want full ruffles, I always advise that you measure the circumference by 2.5 if you want full ruffles. So that means I'm going to multiply my 70 by times 2.5. 70 times 2 is going to give us 140 plus 35. That is 175. That means what we need is 175 inches long of fabric for the ruffles. Now, this fabric is folded. This fabric is 2 yards and it's folded in 2 yards already. That means that we already have 72. One cut like this is going to give us 72. And then we cut out the length. The length is 8 inches. I also add 1 inch for sewing allowance for turning at the lower part and joining at the upper part. So we have 9 inches. So 9 inches all the way. Join it together. And then I'm going to cut it out. I'll replicate that again because, like I said earlier on, we are going to be needing 174, 175 rather, 175. So what we have right now is 144 inches, that is 4 yards. Everything on fold is like this, is 4 yards by 8 inches. So 144 inches plus 35 inches is going to give us 179 inches. And that is exactly what, that's just a little bit more than what we are looking for, but that's still fine, it's still manageable. What you don't want is shortage. It can be more. Depending on how much fabric you have, you can actually make it more than 2.5 inches. That is, you can multiply your circumference by 3-4 inches if you have more fabrics to use. But so it doesn't get too much and too bulky, 2.5 is just okay. So I have my complete ruffles already. That is, I have my complete 175 inches already. Now what I'm going to do is join everything together to form a straight strip. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Then I'm going to pleat it into small pleatings so that it gathers together. If you can, you can do gathers. I could do gathers also, but I just prefer the pleats because it's easier to iron. When it comes to pleats, you could just arrange the pleats and all of that. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And I'm going to show you after I'm done with that. Come with me.